This weekend, the New York Times published an astonishing report by one of its very best journalists, Peter Baier. The story reports on the reaction in Fox News to the events we're all familiar with about their public lying, but instead of focusing on the primetime extremists of Sean Hannity, Laura Ingraham, and Tucker Carlson, this looks at the, quote, face of Fox News, as the president of Fox News described Baier and Martha McCallum. The New York Times story is profound because it puts an end for all time for the notion that somehow Baier and Martha McCallum are different, apart, and separate from the primetime liars, that they're the face of the news at Fox News. But as the New York Times makes clear, there is no news at Fox News. I'm going to read something incredible. It's a direct quote in the New York Times from the president of Fox News, Suzanne Scott. Listen, it's one of the sad realities. If we hadn't called Arizona those 3 or 4 days following Election Day, our ratings would have been bigger, Ms. Scott said. Quote, the mystery would have still been hanging out there, end quote. Baier and Martha McCallum, the two main anchors, suggested it was not enough to call a state based on numerical calculations, the standard by which networks have made determinations for generations, but that viewer reaction should be considered. Quote, in a Trump environment, end quote, Ms. McCallum said, quote, the game is just very different, end quote. The game is not very different. The game is the same as it has always been, except it's not a game at all. A presidential election is a decision by the American people, citizens of the world's most powerful nation, to choose the head of state, the president, the head of government, and the commander-in-chief of the world's most potent military. Not only is the entire nation watching on election night to see who the leader of the free world will be, the entire world is watching. And the fact that Fox News would play games and screw around for the purposes of ratings shows the extent of the corruption of this rancid network on American life. There is no consideration above profit, and the justifications, whatever they may be, do nothing to obscure the lack of patriotism, the immorality, the breach of ethics, and the profound breach of every conceivable journalistic ethic. And here's the thing about Fox News. Let's put the big lie out on the table. The big lie has long been that there are two Fox Newses. There was the Fox News of Chris Wallace and Baier and Martha McCallum. And then, of course, there were the opinion hours of Laura Ingraham, Tucker Carlson, and Sean Hannity. But what the Dominion voting system's lawsuit shows, and which has been apparent to any keen observer for a long time, is that there is just one Fox News. It's Rupert Murdoch's Fox News. And it is a lie machine that poisons and contaminates reality and the truth for ratings and money, period. Baier isn't a journalist. Baier is one of the most corrupt people in the United States. What is it exactly that they are talking about when they say other considerations must be factored in? The Trump voter, adult American citizens, are so fragile, so broken, that they can't be told the truth by a news network about who won the race? What more basic information could possibly be more important than communicating that clearly, truthfully, and as soon as you're able to make a determination that the information is accurate. That is the definition of what the news is. The American media is broken. It has lost trust as profoundly and deeply as has the other important institutions in the country. Political institutions, businesses, economic institutions, wherever you look, trust has collapsed. Fox is singular. There is no media organization that approaches its corruption, but it is the tolerance of Fox News's corruption by other media organizations that taints them. Fox News remains at this hour a member in good standing of the White House Correspondents Association. That means the legitimate journalists who work for NBC News and CNN and ABC News and CBS News work with propagandists. They share news with them. They share pool reports with them. It contaminates completely the information flow at a time where there is a disinformation and misinformation crisis. And the level of obtuseness that it takes not to realize that, willful blindness to look away from that, is astounding. Bret Baier and Martha McCallum hosted a town hall for Congressman Tim Ryan during his U.S. Senate race in Ohio against J.D. Vance. The town hall was a farce, but watching it now, you can see a window into the magical thinking that Martha McCallum and Bret Baier talk about in the Peter Baker New York Times report. You see Martha McCallum's and Bret Baier's hackery. You see Martha McCallum soft pedal the insurrectionists who attacked the Capitol and the police on January 6th in an attempt to end the peaceful transition of power and make Trump America's first dictator. Let's watch.
They stormed the Capitol on January 6th. They beat up 140 police officers, killed one. Okay, they killed one. We all watched the video. We all watched the video, and
let him finish, please.
It is astonishing to consider that two people who are heralded as the straight and serious news face of a network of lies behind the scenes are making an argument that they can't tell the Fox News audience the truth because telling the truth will upset the Fox News audience. There are other considerations now. It's not about who won the election. It's about how the supporters of that person will feel if they're told that they lost the election. What is the Fox News position? That delivering bad news, telling somebody something they don't want to hear, gives them a license to defecate on the floors of the U.S. Senate and the U.S. House, to bludgeon police officers with American flags? This is the greatest scandal in the history of American journalism, bar none. There's nothing even close. And the misconduct continues. It rolls on unabated. It will roll on when Bret Baier takes to his newscast this evening. It will roll on the next time Martha McCallum appears. And it will certainly roll on tonight when Laura Ingraham, Tucker Carlson, and Sean Hannity live for 3 hours, sowing division, mistrust, conspiracy theories, dividing the country, upending its domestic tranquility. There is no institution in American life that is as toxic, poisonous, dangerous as the Murdoch-run Fox empire.